Hi everyone, McBeard here, back with another deck guide for you. So to get prepared for Gwent Skirmish, I practice with the Team Leviathan boys, Quill and Lance and Green Knight, as well as Alessio 1996. Really great players on the pro ladder, and they had some stuff. Green Knight actually won the RU Gwent tournament on the weekend, so I had some really strong players in my corner, and I looked at a bunch of different decks. And one of the decks that I looked at, I didn't play it a lot, is this double Ciri list that Quill and Lance was running. So this double Ciri list with Aridin about protecting Ciri, really kind of turning the coin around, indiscriminately playing Ciri on round one in blue coin in some situations where you know you can get away with it. And not only do I have this deck to show you, I also have footage of me playing with Quill and Green Knight. So it's some good stuff. It's a good video. So let's just look at the list really quick and I'll get into this juicy footage. All right, my friends, this is Ciri Squeeze, which on paper doesn't look as psychologically damaging as it actually is. There is a lot happening in this list, and it has to do with how Ciri influences the pass, first and foremost. Just to lead off, I want to say that the Scorch that's in here right now, I can't remember if Quill is actually running this in the 11th slot. I tend to like Scorch. I brought Scorch for Gwent Skirmish because I thought that I'd be able to catch some Scorches. Not really the case, but I still ran it. You could say that Geralt Professional could go into this slot as well. And you can reorganize some stuff, but for the most part, this list is pretty solid. So the main thing is about playing Ciri. So you have Aridin, and Aridin protects Ciri, and that's mainly what you use Ciri for. The protection, or what you use Aridin for, is to protect Ciri very specifically so your opponent can't lock it or remove it when you decide to pass, or when you decide to push Ciri out on turn one blue coin and force your opponent to just watch you draw a card and have the coin flip around and you have tactical advantage. It's pretty crazy. So the idea here is that you can play very much on tempo as monsters can. You have a lot of great Thrive units. You have a lot of, you have the Wild Hunt Riders, which are fantastic, of course. The Forktail can get a lot of work done if you have Arcaspore, Ancient Foggot on the board, or maybe your opponent played Witchers. So you have a lot of bodies to work with. The Forktails can get a ton of work for you. Alpha Werewolf just is such a solid card. You run this. The Wild Hunt Hounds are probably flex, but I think that all the Thrive units, especially the Drowner, are not flex. They are lock-ins. But I have, and I feel like the Forktail is very strong. Wild Hunt Rider usually very good as well. You have to kind of take the opportunity to play them, and I don't like that part, but I do like everything else about it, especially considering how good it is on blue coin. And, the Wild Hunt Hounds, they're flex. But here's the story here. So you play Ciri or Ciri Dash, you get a pass. If you get a pass and you still have Aridin's ability, well, you're in great shape because that means you have an extra immune unit going into round 3. If you play Ciri and your opponent doesn't pass, well, you get the card back. If you play Ciri Dash, you get the card back. You've turned the coin around. All of these things usually contribute to a pass. And when you get the pass, you get control of the game. And then you can go into a long round 3. And why is the long round 3 so devastating? Because you're running one of my favorite combos, Dragon's Dream and Nivellen. This is an absolutely monster combo that people generally are not playing around or expecting. And if they are playing around it or expecting it, they probably can't deal with your Ciri shenanigans. So what you do is you eventually get a long round, 7 cards or so, where you are able to play a lot of strong cards like Goliath, Ozrel into Goliath, Ozrel into your opponent's graveyard to deny. The Frenzied Dow is your artifact protection, but is also a good unit for Ozrel. You're not running Ghoul because your opponent can just lemons your graveyard away, so you want to make sure that you can get out of their graveyard as well. There's a lot going here because you just have such great, really strong high-tempo plays that you can eventually shut down with a 15, 18-point Dragon's Dream with Nivellen helping you out, plus all the thrives that go off as well. So kind of Ozrel backs you up, Ciri Dash helps you get that last play, Dragon's Dream and Nivellen just obliterates your opponent's board, and sometimes you can get an extra card on top of the whole thing. The deck's gross. I kind of like it. Thanks so much, Quill and Lance, for sharing it. Check out the footage here, and I'll see you guys later.
That's the thing, though, is
I feel like every time I queue into this stuff, I'm like, I've never seen this before.
Yeah, you're in these zones where people can just kind of be running just about anything.
Well, it's not these zones, it's the zone. The zone is between 10 and 0. So because that's just where everybody in the world is, because you can't really get to pro rank, and pro rank is its own ecosystem.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is going on with so many people just not being able to get into pro ladder. I don't know what their system is. You keep this hand again. No, I mean, so I was just about to say I just noticed the Ghoul and Ozrel. I mean, you have your Ciri.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Like typically you just want one of those. It's same thing as big monsters. You just want one of them. Always just kick the ghoul, but so yeah, you just start off with it's just gonna be. I want to assume that it's gonna be like normal croc, but if it's self wound, I mean you're still gonna play the same way. The only thing that punishes you here is heavy croc with like epidemics and stuff. But that's so.
But this is the list that you have the most success against, right?
I mean, not that I have the most success against it, but it does do well against it. Yeah, should just be the normal list. You just immune Ciri right away. Here.
Don't make me laugh.
I mean, the only version of this list beats you is, and it doesn't even beat you. It just inconveniences you. Is the list that Alessio gave you with Scorpion.
So I just got, I ran a similar list with Scorch. Last night I got my highest score with it. I think it's really good.
But yeah, like, I've been Scorched and it's not been that big of a deal. Because Dragon Stream still just does very well against, they're always going to go on a long last, especially after you've blown Aridin, and your Dragon Stream usually will do it for you. So I'd play Riders here to get more bodies.
More bodies for the...
But yeah, you don't really need to win round one against this croc list, because the likelihood of trying to bleed you while they're extra cards down is just kind of ridiculous.
I mean, it's gonna force him out more.
Told you it'd be worth it.
I think if you can just keep up with his tempo, then you'll have to pass in a few cards.
Yeah, the only problem is there's no big monsters in the hand to keep up with that tempo.
Yeah, which is annoying because I don't have Goliath or anything.
Again, that's why I like the Royal Decree and the extra. Granted, you didn't draw Naglfar, you didn't draw, but I like the Royal Decree just so I have extra assets for them.
How can we put down the most points in the next few turns? I mean, I know the hand's not like.
I mean, I'd start with just getting Thrive down. I mean, I'd put the Drowner on the back row and Drowner the boat to the back row, so it can only ping.
I mean, it's really rough. I think maybe Alzur's Double Cross comes into the list for this reason, and then still gives us points to play with, I guess. Because I think there's still a luxury item in here for me, like the Glorious. Did I put Glorious Hunt in this list? I feel like I've not drawn it once.
No, you didn't.
I put it in a different
what are you
list.
cutting for? What are you cutting for 80C though? Okay, well that's. I just made it easy. So I mean, you can just play the Necro Warrior, right?
Yep.
And then you're up by a point, and you still draw the card, and you win uneven. Up by 2 points. Sorry.
Good card.
Oh, there's a Goliath.
Yeah, now he's in trouble, right?
See this.
Winning on even is pretty amazing.
This is what will normally happen with this list. Like when you face the meta decks, like this deck is good against the meta
thing
decks,
is,
but
like, you still have to play a few cards to actually.
I want Dragon's Dream in the hand, so.
I think you have to like throw some tempo down and then.
oh, I throw Goliaths out. If I throw my two for the most part, maybe save one for the last round.
Use a mulligan here.
No, I'd keep
no,
it,
I
right?
keep it.
Yeah.
I'd keep it, and then you just throw down three. You know, I'd probably throw down.
I mean,
you
he might
could
be able to keep up because he's got Witches, Burn a Brand.
But you
Warrior
want at least
Arcaspore. Warrior Arcaspore Forktail. No, Goliath. We want Goliath, right?
yeah, I mean, you can start getting some.
If you genuinely want to try and be a card up here, I think you have to lead off with the Alpha, but it might come back to.
Well, I don't think the Alpha is worth leading off with. I mean, if you can get the card, sweet, but I mean.
You don't need it, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you don't need it. You just need.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess if it looks like you're not getting the card, then you could maybe just play a few more bad cards.
But I always still commit Goliath here regardless of what I want to do, because I mean, in the last round...
he's going to play something like this. I mean, he might get Morkvargar too, but...
And I mean, you want them in the grave,
Yeah.
rather than
Okay.
so.
So maybe play Goliath as... Oh, it's not gonna matter because he's about to strike.
So I go Arcaspor Goliath?
That's what I do, but what do you think, Green Knight?
Is there anything? So Arcaspor is effectively 4 points
5
after
points.
Goliath.
After Goliath. Yeah.
What about the Forktail and then Goliath? It's more points, right? It's gonna be 7 points on the drop.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Wait,
Because,
Goliath before the
again,
what?
The
If you
Forktail
draw-
and
if you pick
Goliath.
Forktail,
Oh, we're playing the
it's 7
Forktail.
points.
Oh, okay.
See, the Forktails again here, like kind of like what
You
I've
could
said
even-
with is the kill the foglets every time.
You could even drop the Goliath first because I think the way he keeps up with that is by playing witches. So then you could play the Forktail.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel that. That's a good reason. It's too bad we don't have the Igni in our hand, though. Because this would be exactly the kind of play that we would bait.
Yeah, he's still a roach too. Like he hasn't played any gold, as far as I remember. No, he played Herald. So never mind.
He's got Roach here.
Yeah, I forgot Herald.
Not much left.
There they
of that
are.
world.
So now Forktail or
Big-
Arcaspor Forktail?
Forktail.
So you're 4 points down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're gonna get the card, but I mean, this just forces out
Because
something.
if you're not getting the card, then
There's no point in
I
playing
think-
anything more
You-
than this then.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
Forktail, since he's already gotten the stuff out,
I mean it is 9 points. He can't. I mean he's got his leader. That's the problem. So basically any card does it for him.
yeah. I guess just Arcaspor than this.
Oh, because the Forktail's just better later?
Yeah, maybe you
Can
could
be,
go
yeah.
Arcaspor and then Forktail. Because the Forktail will kill the Arcaspor, triggering his death wish.
I figured he'll kill Arcaspor to begin with, but that's
I mean, we can really keep him in this round as long as we want.
Yeah. It's just going to be a little bit of a dance though, because he might misjudge how much tempo he needs to play for.
You've talked enough.
He definitely had plans in this game to do what we do. Too bad we don't have RC.
thing.
I think the Forktail, yeah.
It puts you 4 points ahead.
Still, most cards do it.
I mean, this.
I mean, this is a card that is not something that I want in the last round if it could be a liability of any kind. I'm
I don't
acting
think it's a
first. Or I know I'm not acting first.
If you play Alpha Werewolf, it drops for 6, and it's effectively a 7 after the Forktail. But if it doesn't get you the card, it just feels like a waste.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get the card here.
And because if you're playing 2 cards, it means his leader ability is going to come back around.
So we think pass here then, no Forktail? You think there's no point in getting cards out of his hand? Because I do see a point in that.
So in my experience, the Dragon's Dream and Final Say is enough to just
That's what I'm
win the
saying.
game. Like, I don't see a point.
Yeah, I guess maybe you get a good card out of it because
I mean, I even consider, since we have Nivellen, I even consider Strays with Spala. I'll play that too. Because it's even cards. So if we're not going to get that card back, then we might as well just make it a little bit more favorable. I know we may not draw into our cards. We have 2 mulligans. Or we have
I mean,
one-
you're not
one mulligan.
losing a card. You're
2 mulligans. Yeah, I'm not going to lose a card. He's always going to play into it. We're always going to have evens. We're always going to have last say.
because again with the Ithne, Dragon's Dream, because this deck plays
Stand
for the most
before
part a
the
lot of
Queen
small.
of Skellige.
Okay, wow,
What is-
that was worth.
that's a good trade.
Well, it's a very good trade. I'm surprised, but he really must want you out.
Yeah, he just he knows he can't give you double last save. Oh,
Oh, maybe he's just cleaning up his hand. Check the graveyard.
man, that's so annoying. 1 point.
Yeah, he was just cleaning up his hand a little bit. He's probably a bear setup in hand that's
Yep.
gonna drop for 6.
For sure he does.
Like I said, I still don't see any point playing more into this.
All right. I mean, if we do draw Igni, we didn't play it, right? If we draw Igni, then we have the Strays of Swallow is very important. So there's no
Yeah.
need to
Yeah,
throw it.
there's like Igni and
I don't really see. Maybe just tell me where the Forktail could be. Like, well, I guess we'll see if it comes up how important the Forktail was. But I think that the Forktail was fine. You guys said it was a good trade. There's the Dragon Stream. All right.
See, this is you know, pretty.
2 mulls.
I'd kick Foglet,
Okay.
and then
Do you
possibly
need the
Strays.
strays? Yeah, you probably don't need the strays.
I don't think you really need the Strays.
Strays keep strength level the same. Foglets don't.
I'd kick the Stray here, but that's just me. Because having the lower strength, I mean, it's just gonna get wiped in.
Because you can play the Drowner early on a
Yeah.
turn where he can't use his leader, and it might actually live and thrive a little bit.
And at least Ciri here, Ciri or the Stray get the thrive point on the immune.
Well, you love to see it.
Finally. Just
still
Nithril it
Nithril.
right away.
All that shit.
I wonder how long you lost.
There were some
between
people
1 and 2 is
complaining that monsters don't really get the artifact bronze.
But they got like one of the best artifact.
But they
gold.
got Nithril.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the best artifact removal in the game, right?
He's 5 points. I mean, he's basically and he has an upside too, alongside the heist. You get the damage, their adjacent stuff. Like you don't need bronze at that.
At this point, is it a alpha werewolf early?
I
I mean, there's no
You
point.
can do
No,
that.
we
Also
want to
like,
get the Drowner out.
I
for
like
this one.
drownering
I
that
think,
to
yeah, you go
the back.
Drowner now, he can't hit it with his leader. Move, yeah, that's it.
and then you just play most of your stuff, and then you never have to worry about that ship. Really, I mean, he
So
just has
he
to
needs-
sink it all into Nithril.
He probably plays a bear here to kill it, I think.
I don't think he wants to kill anything if he wants to use a wild boar.
But yeah, you're right. Like, every unit that he kills is just, he's losing value down the line.
No, he did put the bear.
Well, I mean, killing my Thrive is probably.
See, this is where like I think Wolfsbane and
Oh,
Wild
why is
Boar
he
just
doing
over.
that?
Yeah, I don't know. You play
Yeah,
the.
you definitely drop the Alpha Werewolf here, because then he's just got no good targets, really.
So Alpha Werewolf, Ciri, Spear Tip,
They have
Dragon
no-
Stream, another spear. Do I drop Ciri?
You could. Yeah, I think.
Unless you think he has Scorch.
I mean, we do have Ozrel and Ghoul, so I mean, if this has to go to the graveyard twice, at least we know it has a home.
I really think that that immune unit is like, it's worth more than however many points it gets to. If it gets to 7 or 8 points, it's actually worth more than that, because he's got, like Quill's saying, he's got too much damage, and he's never going to be able to kill that, right?
So I should be playing Ciri then.
I don't think you should play into the Scorch, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Just play.
I think it's better to lose the Thrive point, because if he takes that Scorch there, then he could win, I think.
I mean, he is perfectly capable of doing 3 points of damage to Spear Tip without playing a card. So if he has the Scorch, he's going to go for it anyway.
Yeah, well. But at least with this way, you get another, because you have Ghoul and Ozrel and only one big target in the graveyard. At least this throws it into the.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Well,
Alright,
this is fine though, right? It's fine.
We'll take that.
So he probably doesn't have a Scorch then.
This guy doesn't want wild boar. Or we'll...
So Ciri then, and then Dragon's Dream, and then Ghoul, Nivellen, Nivellen. Cool.
Yeah,
Seems to be it, huh?
that seems fine. Yeah, there's not. I played on the back row though.
Yeah. There's
Ho ho, I sense
no need to
trouble.
give the target.
I
It
mean,
was
he's
my
gonna
fault.
do-
I should have played Spirit Him in the back row too, but he only
Yeah, I
needed
mean,
the
the
one
boat's not
ping.
that
Didn't make a
big a
difference.
deal because he has this. But yeah. I just kind of do it to get in the continuously doing it. And then just Dragon's Dream, and then.
Dragon's Dream doesn't matter. Where?
The row really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So some matchups it does matter. Like with Nilfgaard, you're playing a player that you think has or whatever. Isbel, that's her name. Isbel. If you think you have Isbel, then you play it on the front row because you want a Dragon's Dream or you want Nivelle on her off of the row in the. Yeah. But this doesn't really have.
I do not mince words.
It doesn't really have an issue here with because I
basically-
mean Wild Boar is the only row left.
So we play the Ghoul onto the 9.
Yeah.
Young Spirited.
That sounds like a good MC name.
Young Spirited? Yeah.
It's just Wild Boar and
Well, I'm not much of a betting man, but I think you've got this one.
I feel pretty good about it.
Sod it all. Again.
like I said, like you don't have too much trouble with the really meta decks, but the people running just all that off weird shit just kind of get you because this deck, like the information about the opponents is so big for this one because of scorches and epidemics just kind of running your strategy.